Everything bends to my order. Now, it's finally arrived after so long. I mean, I was waiting for this show for quite a while. I was like, I need to know. I need to know more about, Big Order being from the same manga guy that did, obviously, Future Diary, as you have probably noticed by now, saying, wow, some of these characters look strikingly resemblance to a lot of them. Cough, cough, Gasai with Konoha and pretty much the same pink-haired yandere that we know from there. Now, I just want to say, before we even start the video, that there were some changes as well to the source material. They started changing around a bit of the first chapter, and there's slight parts of the second chapter in it. I honestly don't know what they're going to be doing now, because they really changed a lot of things around it. Everything about, the characters' abilities and everything, involving that stuff will be completely fine. That's all sorted out. But I've got to say, for the first episode, I was even as someone that read a bit of the manga, 5 chapters, I was scratching my head at some of these parts. So 10 years ago, there was a giant disaster that destroyed the world, and that happened to be around about the same time that the Order started activating, and they're people that have their wishes granted, and they're able to use the supernatural powers. And one of them, as our main character, Eiji, happened to wish to destroy the entire world. Yeah, he was like, oh, but I was playing around, I was watching this show, this weird little Kamen Rider Power Rangers kind of show, and I was only pretending that I was him, and it was I wish the world, domination and stuff like that. It's a destruction, and that's where everything got into the way. It was that might have explained a couple of situations why that went down. But no one knows that it was actually him, and pretty much he's kind of very on his own when it comes to class. He doesn't really give a fuck. People he doesn't really attend like that. People think that he's a weirdo, and he's just yeah, I don't give a fuck. Comparing him to Yuki from Future Diary, he's very much a different character than what Yuki was. Yuki was kind of more, he was a lot more quiet. He was a little bit more scared, a little bit, but kind of one of those I'm terrified of everything kind of characters, and then kind of grows later on. This guy, Eiji, he just doesn't particularly give a fuck for the most part. And then a transfer student known as Kurihara Rin appears, and it's oh, she's really cute, I really like her. And then it's she happens to be in the same dorm room. It's I lost my keys though, and all that. It's I broke them. Do you think I can call, you get someone here a locksmith or something? And she's oh yeah, I'll open the door. Boom, taser, and it's turns out this bitch is a bit of a yandere as well, because she's super pissed, finds out that exactly this guy was the guy that caused the destruction of the world and killed her parents, and it's just they sent me here, they allowed me to do this, I was supposed to bring you back, but I don't give a crap and all that, I'm gonna murder you. Stabbing at the faces that she was doing, and just the anger, it's you could definitely see that, the manga has a love for the Gasai kind of the crazy yandere look, he absolutely loves that stuff, so he's please, I don't give a crap and all that, I'll do a different story, but I want to do it. And even with that, I have to say that it has very similar vibes to Future Diary in a lot of ways. Maybe when, especially when I was reading it, I was I'm really getting the vibes from that, and that was sort of me just personally finishing the anime of Future Diary. I was he pretty much, I think, not exactly a one-trick pony, but he has different ways to go around with the events, and definitely you can see with their orders, they're pretty much stands. Especially when we see Eiji as he snaps, because this bitch comes back after being stabbed with his order power and actually decides to take his sister hostage and actually stabs her, and it's yo, she's gonna die, you better do something about this. And him pretty much snapping and going after her, and it's no, I have to use these powers. And even that weird little Daisy person that we know as actually keeps is the one that causes everyone to have powers in the first place. She was the one that gave Eiji the powers, first powers in the first place. Dami's oh, I'm gonna block your powers to I think it was one power of the 10,000% of it I can give to you, and I'm wait, what? You're only gonna use 10,000 of what your real power is, and I'm okay, this guy's fucking broken. So I'm especially looking forward to what exactly his whole power was gonna be at the end, and I feel that's probably what caused the great big disaster, is that he pretty much, when he had his full power, he couldn't control it in the first place, and then it was oh, everyone just blew themselves up. Comes back and takes control of their own, since his one is not world destruction, it's world domination. They're able to control the world. anything that's within his domain, he's able to control and tell them whatever to do. So if it's involving like the soldiers that were after him, he can order them. Anything that he walks into, like that's pretty much in his domain. Same thing can be said with Koharin. Like he forced her to heal his sister, and then pretty much decided saying you're going to be into my domain, and put like a nail in his head, and like that's pretty much the ending episode. Now there was a few bunch of differences of like how this kind of worked around and stuff. There was a lot of differences around this area, so I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to be doing exactly. Like I said, I haven't read it in the manga in a while, but I definitely know that part, like everything that was involved in that whole domain area part, like I think that they were outside during this part or something like that. I don't know, I remember a grenade being used or something. It's like I know there was a huge bunch of differences, but that isn't even my biggest problem with the series. My biggest problem with the series is actually the music. Like at certain parts it comes in really great, like this jazzy soundtrack, but when you got this really big impactful moment coming on and you got, you know, some guy just making sweet love to the sax, like as like there's this serious stuff going on, I was a bit... I feel like whoever did this and all that for the first episode, like, I think like the music is great, but like I don't want to be like, you know, like especially like say like the Dead Man Wonderland, like when you get to hear the ending and all that, like I don't want to be hearing like during like someone dying, I don't want to hear shiny shiny da, 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 da. Like I don't want to hear that. It's like it kind of takes you out of the experience a little bit, you know, like especially with Dead Man Wonderland, like with the opening it's like I will be your dead man, like, you know, that gets you into it, but the ending, it happens at the end of the episode, so it doesn't come out like that. But it's like if you hear this jazzy sound like like I'm hearing this, I'm like, doesn't meld in for what this show I originally thought it was going to be, and that is just, it's really really weird. And I feel like, I hope like after like they hear people's like, because I'm pretty much hearing like the same thing from everyone saying like they enjoyed the episode. It feels a lot like Future Diary. Boy oh boy was that was the soundtrack, especially in this episode, really out of place a lot of the time. So hoping that they fix that. I know that this isn't going to be too long. I think it's already been confirmed about 12, 13 episodes, and I know it's still ongoing. So I'm kind of curious about what's going to be exactly happening with this series. If they're going to come up with a filler ending. I hope, like, if they are going to do one, like, I hope it does, like, do it in a situation where it's like, they can't do the manga anymore, they can't do another season of the anime, so I really do hope this turns well, because Future Diary got 24 episodes, and, you know, that was a really good anime, so I'm hoping that this, you know, gets some real fair treatment to it. I was expecting to like this a little bit more. I was expecting to come out of this saying, yeah, I want to give this a 9, I want to give this, like, what I was thinking about, I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. I liked it, but I was a bit surprised. There's some elements I felt like needed working on, both on the story-wise and then also as well, both like on the anime side as well. Like I do think like the faces that like Koharu did and like some of the bits were great. It was a bit gory somewhere. It reminds me a lot of Akame ga Kill in ways. Like it's like it definitely feels like we're going for this kind of dark shonen vibe for it, and I think like it's a 7.5. So I'm really curious about that. And mind you, that isn't a bad thing because I still do like a lot of things about Akame ga Kill. So I'm looking forward to see what it can be doing in the future. I'm kind of curious a little bit more like what they're going to be doing with it and the material. Sherman didn't hear anything about the opening, unless that Jad stuff was the opening or the ending, so I'm not too sure, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's all from me, so if you like this episode as much as I do, then you hit that like and subscribe down below. But that's all from me, so I'll see you and you Big Order fans next time.